Are we rolling? We're rolling. Okay. Today is officially Vision Sunday today, where we're going to be just thinking about what our church vision is for this autumn and beyond. We actually talked a bit about it last week as well, because I thought, well, there's going to be people at the festival, poor people at the festival who might be missing out this week, so we did talk a bit about it last week too. And just for those poor people, I put my Isle of Wight Festival t-shirt on as well. We'll be talking more about festivals and things a little bit later. When I was thinking about church vision, I went back 5 years, because it was 5 years ago when I actually went full-time in leading this church. Before that, I was part-time leading this church and part-time working at Sandown High School. But I decided that was a good time to go full time, and I still remember that time of going full time, because I remember going on a nice walk with Sally over somewhere around St George's Down, and just saying to her, I really love my life. I was saying, I love my life. I love the church, and I actually love teaching. I really enjoyed my science teaching. It was good. It was good fun. I could have carried on like that forever. But what I saw, and what was abundantly clear, is that there was a lot that the church could be, but it wasn't quite yet. And I thought, unless I go full time, there's no way that we're actually going to be able to reach into the next stages of what God's got for us. So I thought, this is actually a good time to just go for it and go full time. And I thought, well, teaching is a great love of mine, but I didn't want to get to the end of my working life and think what could have been at the church. They say that teachers are replaceable. Well, physics teachers aren't, but there we go. So I've now been full time here for 5 years, and in that 5 years I just took a look back, and it's not what I've accomplished, it's what the church has accomplished now, just being able to push that a little bit further. And it's worth taking a look, actually, before we think about going forward. What have we accomplished as a church in 5 years? Well, ping, there's a few things going on the screen. These are just a few things. Barton Green. As a church, we've been trying to get hold of Barton Green for about 40 years. Last year it happened. That was a full-time job, liaising with councils and things like that to actually get that green. And we did it. So now we're running Barton Green, and there's a whole new area of vision opened up on using that green. Straight away we did a carol service, community carol service out there in the first Christmas. We put a lovely fence around it because we're trying to make it child friendly. That's still a work in progress. We've got an amazing decking now out there, so it doesn't look like a prison camp anymore with chain fence, keep out, giving the signal, keep out, but rather it's saying come in. It's got a welcoming look to it. The decking's great. Thank you. So those are just some of the things that we've been looking at. The building's improved. We've got nice big windows in the side. Food bank, that's on the front of the news centre. We are actually the biggest, and I think best food bank on the Isle of Wight. There's 7 distribution centres, and we're the biggest. Did you know the Isle of Wight is one of the biggest food banks in the country? And we're one of the biggest food banks in the country. So what we're doing is really significant. I'll put it on the news sheet. Last year, here, in 1 year, we helped 1,427 people officially through food bank. That's major. So that happened. That's happened in the last 5 years. And if you want to carry, if you're thinking, oh, I'd love to help the food bank, but I can't because I'm busy on a Wednesday and Friday morning, you can help, because we are short of rice. We are short of soup. We are short of sugar and squash. So it's the 3 S's: soup, sugar, squash, and rice. So if you are shopping and you see those things in the shop, a lot of shops have got a basket where you can put them in straight in the shop, or we've got a collection point here. It would be lovely if you could just be part of the food bank and just bring in those things in particular. It's really good. When I sit down with someone from food bank, what I say to them is, this isn't a church giving you a handout, this is the whole community helping the whole community. And people love the fact that we do that. So that's brilliant. What else? We've got so many community groups down here at the moment. We've got massive links with the 2 primary schools now, Barton and Sunfields. I do regular assemblies at them, and I run the football for Sunfields. Barton come down here and join us for services. I'm a governor up at Sunfields Primary School as well. All those things I can do because of my full-time role, which is really good. Churches working together. You don't see so much of this, but we're meeting as ministers every 2 weeks, working together, praying together as ministers of this town. That's significant. And we accomplished a lot together. We got Philippa Hannah down here between us. Who went to the Philippa Hannah concert? Absolutely brilliant. She said it was one of her best ones. I don't think she was just saying that to us. So that was that. And we're hoping to get the Daughters of Davis down in November as well. Daughters of Davis, who's heard of Daughters of Davis? Because they came to the festival and they came to this hallowed stage. Just here. They were here. Where I'm touching. And they're going to come back, we're going to get them back down to the Isle of Wight as well to do a concert. That's churches working together in Newport. We've done some great baptisms over the years, and also festival outreach and acoustic cafe. That's just got bigger and better. So we're doing so much as a church. And, you know, we've seen people grow in God. We've seen new Christians coming. We've been seeing a lot of good stuff. So that's just going back into the past. But now we'll just take a look at our ongoing vision. And the next slide, our vision is all about 3-dimensional growth. Have you ever seen something grow in 1 dimension? It just can't do it. Or 2 dimensions. We're 3-dimensional people, and everything I have this discussion, sometimes this discussion about whether 2D films or 3D films. Is it worth paying the extra £2 for a 3D film?
Yes.
You say yes.
Yeah.
Let's put it to the vote.
Yeah.
Let's have a referendum. Because referendums are no. 3D. Is it worth paying £2 extra for a 3D film? Vote yes if you think yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll go on 4D.
Who thinks no, it's not worth the extra money? I'm afraid I'm a no. So no is carried. Look, do you know the reason why we're voting no? The reason why we're voting no is because our brain sees in 3D anyway. So if you're looking at 2D picture, you're seeing it in 3D. Your brain makes it a 3D. Not quite as well as it would do in actual 3D film. Because sometimes it really does look like the arrows coming towards you. Oh, it's been shot. But 3D growth anyway, that's what we're talking about, wasn't it? 3-dimensional growth. And the vision is that we're growing in God, growing in number, and growing into our community. And we're really going to be pushing this vision this autumn. This is what we want to see. We want to see a church where every individual in the church is growing strong in God and reaching our full potential. Who wants to reach their full potential as a Christian? Me! That sounds so good. Especially if I put this verse up. Jeremiah. Bam. This is what God says. I know the plans I've got for you, says God. And He says this. He said this to His people Israel. thousands of years ago. But we are now God's people, adopted into his family through our faith in Jesus Christ. So he's now saying this to us. I know the plans I've got for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. That's God's plan for us. So growing in God is a good thing because we're growing into that. We're growing into what he's got for us. So, ask the question again, who wants to grow in God? Yes! That sounds amazing to me. So that's one part of the dimension, one part of the growth dimension. The other part is that we want to grow in number and grow into the community. Those two are very much linked. I want to see us grow in number here, because as we're growing in number, it's not about us becoming just a church that's getting bigger and bigger. It's about God's kingdom growing. Because as people come into the kingdom, we grow in number. And we can widen that as well to any number. We can grow in any sort of number. We can grow in square metres as well, so we can look for a bigger building. That's part of growing in number. We can grow in finances as well. Not just so we can be rich and have gold-plated light switches, but so that we can afford the things that we need to do as a church to see God's kingdom really come. Wouldn't it be great to have a youth worker, for example? That costs money. But it would be great to have just someone who could really be committed to working with kids. That's just something you can do with more finance. So to grow in number, to grow in square metres, of course that costs money as well, to build a bigger building. To just have, to grow in vision, grow in all sorts of numbers into what we can become. And growing into our community, that's the good one as well. I've talked already about all the things we do as a church with our community. There's so many things happening with our community. There's a birthday party here this afternoon. Why do so many people want birthday parties here? Well, that would be because for a very small amount of money, just enough to cover our costs, they can have a super party space. You're nodding.
Yeah.
Why are you nodding? Because you were here yesterday having a party. Yes, have a super party space, a bouncy castle, and just a great welcome here for a party. It's the best party venue here, and people know that. We haven't had to advertise for a birthday party here, because people just advertise it amongst themselves. And it's a great way for the church to get to know people as well. Every time someone comes in for a party, it's about up to 20 families coming. And it's our chance to talk to them and to meet them, to get to know them. And, you know, there's a lot of people following this church on Facebook, because we say, oh yeah, like us on Facebook, then you can use our Wi-Fi. And there's a lot of people just following the church on Facebook as well, and on Twitter and things like that. So we are growing into our community. Those are three dimensions of our vision. Like I say, this autumn we're going to be focusing on that. Growing in God, we're going to be looking in October and beyond at a mentoring scheme where we can really help each other to grow in God. Much more about that in weeks to come. But the big one that's coming up is the Hub Fest. Hub Fest. I'm going to get Martin Gibbs whose video as well. We'll keep still. We won't move.
I know where I can sit. It's fine.
Yeah, off camera.
Yeah, just in this corner here.
With your radio vest. Only joking, you're beautiful. You are.
About next weekend, Tony.
Yes, you're beautiful.
I feel another commitment coming up.
You're good for TV. So it's just the word radio, please. Obviously, anyway, I've done that whole. I'm going to do a new service now, a new sermon on forgiveness. You should forgive your brother 7 times 7 times 7. Do you forgive me?
I forgive you.
He forgives me, yes. Hooray, phew. Right, that's one. That's right, you can just keep counting. Keep counting. So, Hubfest, celebration of all things community, really. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, excellent. Where we're going to be inviting all sorts of community groups down here on the Saturday, 12 o'clock to 3, to explain about what they're doing and just to be part. To all meet each other, really. We're going to be having Shakespeare strutting their stuff and various other things going on. The bikers are going to be here now, so we're going to have the bikers down here. Ian's going to be here with his school charity, overseas charity, telling about what they do. Lots of other things as well. I can't remember all the things that are in the newsletter, isn't it? That's handy. Where's it gone?
Live music.
Live music. Yes. Pirates, Isle of Wight Food Bank will be here from Powers as well. So lots of things, and we're still asking people to come down as well to just be here. So that's going to be a time where we can meet the community, and the community can all meet the church. And then on Sunday it'll be a blessing service. What I would say before I ask Martin, because you have come up here and taken all that horrible stick. What I would say is it's in 2 weeks' time. The main thing is it's an invite thing. Please can we invite, well first of all please can we come, because it's church meets community, so it's good if we're here, church. Secondly, please can we invite people, just invite people along. So this is a time when the church is going to be open, we're going to be showing you what we're doing, what we're about, both on the Saturday and the Sunday. So I'm going to ask you, Martin, what was your inspiration for this?
Well, it stemmed from the festival outreach, and the fact that every time after we'd done festival outreach, people would say, "Oh, we need to do something like that again at some other time. We shouldn't wait till the next festival. We should do something else." And so we said, "Oh yeah, we should do something for people locally, because the festival outreach is aimed mostly at people who are coming and visiting the islands, although local people as well, but and we should do something locally for our community, and we should sort of have a thing like we do the festival outreach." So it kind of evolved from there. And the idea was that this place is in use all through the week. And there are all sorts of community groups that use it. Some use it for one-offs, some use it on an ad hoc basis, some are here every week. You've got individual families using it. None of those people necessarily see each other or know the other things that are going on. So we kind of thought it would be a good idea to try and pull as much of that in together. So everybody who's got involvement and a stake in this building can kind of get together and see what the other people do, and we as a church can meet with them directly as well. But for it to be on a sort of a neutral space, it's not you have to come to church to meet us. It's like, well, we'll put on an event that anybody can come to. You don't have to be churchy to come to the thing on Saturday. You just come along. It's a pure community event, and where sort of church and the wider community collide, which is kind of it's all linked in with the Acoustic Cafe as well. It's all part of the same kind of set of work and activity to basically do something positive for the community, where we kind of meet the rest of our community on their terms rather than on our terms.
So big hopes and dreams there. So what are you hoping that we're going to see? We can sort of project forward into 2 weeks' time. What's your real hopes for this?
I suppose a building that's sort of thrumming on Saturday, and there's people coming and going, and there's people passing by that see what's going on and want to come and join in. We want to see activity out on the green. We want to see good weather. Pray for that. That would be good. So we want to have like the bouncy castle out on the green, and we want to have sort of craft activities going on outside. Lots of stuff going on inside. So there's so the place is just alive with activity. And so we've got our neighbours welcomed in. We want to try and leaflet the local streets particularly with invitations, which will be ready in the middle of this week. So we can invite our neighbours to come and join us. We'll be putting on a free barbecue as well. So you can always bribe people with food to get them to come to something. That always works for me, so I figure it works for others. But yeah, so just to see the place full of life and see everybody engaging with the positives of being a good community, and the positives of actually, strong community values of demonstrating love and compassion and helping other people and building a better world, which is so much what Jesus modelled, and I think that's what we're trying to do here with kind of everything we do, and this is just another part of that.
Excellent, thank you. And I see you've got a red clip file. Red,
If somebody has a pen they could lend
it's
me,
an angry colour, isn't it?
I can send this round. It's not an angry colour. It's a bright colour, so I don't lose it.
Ah, that's right, yeah. I'm always losing black stuff.
Right, so this has got a pen.
Best colour.
It's got cake. You can sign up for cake baking.
Yeah, cake. So we want homemade cake, please, for both Saturday and Sunday. It'd be good to have lots of cake available, because again, it's one of our sort of hallmarks: coffee and cake.
Leaflets distribution.
Yeah, you can sign up to distribute leaflets to one of the local roads. We want to keep a sort of quite close radius around the church for that, but we do need people to go for a walk with purpose. Free exercise with that one.
Set up.
Yeah.
And general help.
Set up on Saturday morning beforehand, and also help during. Your presence is the most important thing, but your presence helping is even better, because this isn't my thing. It's not Tony's thing. It's a thing we decided we wanted to do as a church. It's a response to what people wanted to do. So we kind of need people to get behind it, because otherwise it will fall flat.
Excellent. So hopefully that's whetted your appetite for this one. Just to summarise, you can go and sit down if you want. Or you can stay here if you want, because you are beautiful. We were having a prayer meeting about this on Wednesday night, and I just wrote down what.
You want to sign up? I'll pass the list round. Just put your name on it.
I do forgive you. I just wrote down here what I believe God was saying about church and community. And I've never quite seen it this way before. That God loves the community groups and the community things that happen in and through and linked with here. Because He sees them as people who shape a community and bring interest and creativity and positivity to a community. And I just really felt that God loves that sort of thing. If there's a Shakespeare group doing Shakespeare down there, okay, it might not be the gospel, but just God loves the creativity and the positivity of that. And I believe He wants to embrace this. He wants to embrace these people and embrace these groups. And as a church, we can help to do that. So it's an exciting time in a couple of weeks. Hopefully your diaries will be clear and you can come along to that. So just want to reiterate now, because I've gone over time, that we're big on vision here. It's a three-dimensional vision. Like I say, you can't separate any of them really. We want to grow in God, both as individuals and as a church. We want to grow in number as people come into God's kingdom, and we want to grow into our communities. We link and just embrace people in our community like God would want to do. So yeah, let's pray, shall we?